Hey, don't mind me. I'm just rocking out over here. And that's one of my favorite intros that I've done so far. So I'm gonna say that I like it. I hope you like it. I hope it's fun. So something interesting about that, and I had someone ask me about this the other day, and man, I'm also realizing I'm getting scruffy again. Time for a haircut. But so someone asked me, they said, "Why do you put this intro in front of your video? Like, what is that? What does that do? You know, why it's a minute of wasted time." I said, "No, it's not." Okay, and I'm going to explain this because I think it's really important, and why I do this is a little bit different, maybe than other people, but for me, it's preparation. So what that minute is doing is I'm sitting here, getting in the groove, getting ready. I'm doing mouth exercises. I'm doing whatever it is that I need to do that minute. I think it's like a minute and 9 seconds, minute and 10 seconds, whatever that is. That is my time to get prepared to deliver to you as best as I possibly can. So then that way I'm not getting on here having jitters and whatever. That's kind of like a ritual for me, right? It's that way to get me pumped up and ready to go. So that's why that minute and some odd seconds is there, is for me. So that way I can be ready to give you exactly what you need. So, and what we're going to talk about today is embracing your future. And I know I've been talking a lot about future and dreams and goals and action and all this stuff. And if you haven't picked up on it, it's because I'm doing a whole series on action. I'm doing a whole series on getting moving forward and making sure that you're doing the things you need to do to get to your goals and get to your dreams, because that's what I'm focused on right now. And this is what I'm doing with my lives. If you haven't noticed, is this is my journey, right? Everything I'm learning, everything I'm doing to grow, I'm just giving right back to you guys. I'm just doing it right back for you, giving you everything that I'm learning, because I've been taught by some pretty smart people that you practice what you preach and you preach what you practice, right? You don't ask people to do things you wouldn't do yourself, and then you tell people what you're doing so that way they can follow in those footsteps and do whatever. So you can see me as a mentor, you can see me as a friend, or you can see me as just some weirdo on the screen that pops on your feed every now and then. Whatever it may be for you, I'm here to provide you with whatever I can to help you be successful. And so that's what we're going to do today. And so the big question I have, and you probably saw it in the description, is what do you want to be when you grow up? And I know, like, as a kid, I had all these dreams, right? I wanted to be a fireman. I wanted to be I called it a rocket ship man or a rocket man. I didn't call it an astronaut because couldn't really say astronaut as a kid until I got older. But all these things I wanted to be. And as I got older, a lot of those dreams faded away. But then new dreams came in, right? New things came in that I wanted to do. New things came up that I wanted to really showcase what I am passionate about. And one of the things that has been really big for years now is helping people. And all the jobs that I've ever had, I've always been helping people. And I guess I only realized that recently. And so when I thought about this topic, I thought about, like, not just what I believe that other people could consume, but also what makes it important to me and why could that potentially make it important to somebody else. And so when we're talking about embracing your future, what do you want to be when you grow up? It's a question we're asked all the time, but we usually give the typical answers. So without thinking of the typical answers like police officer and engineer and all that stuff, think about what it means to know what you want to be when you grow up, and then think about how you could potentially get there. So as we go through this, just kind of keep that in your head, right? Like, what is it you really want to be? Who do you want to be? How do you want to be remembered? And then how do you think you can get there? And so what we're talking about here is what it means to embrace that, how that can be beneficial to your success, and how you can ensure a bright future. And really, if you think about it, the power of becoming who you are and who you're meant to be, it really lies in your hands. Nobody else is going to make that happen. Yes, I do believe, I'm a firm believer that we have a plan laid out for us, but it's our choice to follow that plan. It's our choice to make the decision, right? Like, we can choose to decide to go that road or to decide to go a different road. Like, we don't have to follow this predetermined plan for our lives, and most people don't. But when we get those feelings that you're supposed to go a direction, and you go against those feelings, that's a choice. That's a decision you made. And so with that, it doesn't really matter what other people say or what you feel or all those things. It's what you decide. It's the action. It depends on what you say and what you do and how you can actually embrace that future that you have built for you. And it doesn't matter like where you are right now or what you've tried or where you failed or anything like that, right? I mean, you could have all the stuff that you've been going through in your life and you could feel like you've been on the right path and you come to a crossroads and you make a bad decision and you go way down, like you backpedal, you lose focus, you lose track of everything, you go way further behind than you were when you even started. And that's okay, because today is a new day and you can always start where you are and continue to pick up on that path that you left off or start a new path, right? And that's what embracing your future really is all about, is what path do you want to be on? What path do you feel in your gut? Or like, as my kids like to say, because we like Detective Pikachu, and you've probably heard me say this before, but you feel it in your jellies, right? So you feel that deep down inside and you think, man, like something's telling me to go this direction. And like, I want to go this direction, but something just really just balling up inside and tells me to go over this direction. And it's up to you to take that decision or take that path or take the other path, whichever way you go about it. But maybe you've been down this other path before. Maybe you've gone down that bumpy road and you're like, well, maybe I could do it better this time, or maybe I could do it differently, right? So let's dig into, let's say like, I'll tell you a story. How about that? And because I think the story really fits in, is so about a year ago, a little over a year ago, I made my jump into digital marketing. I started doing it before then, but I was really just dabbling. I was buying little courses here and there, trying to figure out what fitted my skills. And then I found this big course, right? I found this big program that was a lot of money. And I wanted to know how to be the best damn marketer I could be. I wanted to know how I could just rule the marketing world. I wanted to be on top of the world. I wanted to be the person who everybody looked up to and said, man, that guy's got it. And at the time it was arrogance. It was, looking for validation, things like that. But that's kind of how a lot of our journeys start, right? Is they start out with that validation. They start out with that feel good feeling, and then you realize who you really are. And so I get into this program and I'm pumped, man. I am on fire. I'm so happy. I was spending every waking moment building this thing, building out a website, running ads, doing all this stuff, writing a blog, doing a podcast. I was doing too much, but I didn't know it at the time. And so I kept pushing myself. I'm like, man, my future's so bright. It's going to be awesome. Look at what's going to happen. I'm going to have this big, huge business and everything's going to go, and it's going to build my network marketing business on autopilot and everything's going to be awesome. And I kept coming up to roadblock after roadblock after roadblock and just constantly getting into this situation where I was moving in this direction that I thought was the right direction, but I kept getting knocked back. But I kept getting up and pushing forward. So no, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. And every time they came up and said, hey, we got this cool thing, it's only an extra $200. Hey, there's this other thing, it's only an extra $500. Hey, there's this really cool thing and it's only an extra $10,000. And I was like, oh, I got to get these things. I got to get these things. This is how success is going to be. And I kept just filing into these things. And most of that bigger stuff I didn't really dive into, and I wanted to, but I couldn't. And that was part of the situation. But I started to feel this darkness. I started to feel this heavy weight on my shoulders that was really starting to weigh me down. I started to feel tired all the time. I was irritable. I was not sleeping properly. I wasn't eating properly. And by not eating properly, not that I wasn't eating, I was just eating a lot of crap. And that's what started happening. I gained a bunch of weight and I was doing all this stuff. Like I was doing awesome for a while there. And then all of a sudden I started losing myself and I couldn't figure out what was going on. And I realized that something that I was doing was taking me down this dark path that was causing me to go back into some of my old ways. And by old ways, I mean self-deprecation, lack of self-worth, a bad self-image, just a lot of things internally that I was struggling with before. And I got out of those things. I started to dip back into those things. I started to really be, I got snippy with my wife and my kids and all this stuff. But I was like, I got to keep pushing. I got to keep pushing. That's the grind, right? That's the challenge. That's the pit of despair. I got to keep going. And it kept being a problem. And it kept being this heavy, heavy weight. And I realized, which it took me a while, took months to realize this, but I realized that I started not believing in my dreams anymore. I started to let that fade. And the thing that was driving me was dollar signs, because I was seeing all these people in this program that were making tens of thousands of dollars a month or hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. They were doing amazing. Their businesses were growing. They were signing up people on autopilot. And I had all this bad mojo that was just hovering around me. It was like this aura that was just dark and gross and gloomy. And I took it everywhere I went. And I started getting people commenting on it. They're like, man, are you okay? Or everything fine? And I'm like, yeah, it's all good. No big deal. And it just kept being that real heavy weight. And I realized that not only did I stop believing in my dreams, but I started believing in my ability to turn those dreams into a reality. And that's where that self-image started to hurt, right? And I started asking myself, why am I feeling this way? Why am I going back into this? And it's because I started letting myself lose sight of what's really important. And I started just going on autopilot. I started just really pushing myself into grinding to get to the next level, instead of looking at those dreams and looking at those goals and really making them a reality and putting them out in front of me all the time, right? Like when you have a goal, you want it here, like right in front of you. Like I don't want to cover the camera too much, but like you want it in front of you at all times. What is your goal? What are you trying to achieve? And I've always been terrible at that. Still to this day, I have all the pictures and everything to build a vision board. I just don't have it up, just because it's things like that I just need to have in front of me. But I've got stuff in front of me here on my desk, and I would take the camera and show you, but it's kind of like hard to do that with the way it's set up. But so that belief was waning, right? That belief was starting to fall apart. And that's the point about when you're embracing your future, right? People think that embracing their future is all about like, this is what my future is going to be, and that's it, right? Just saying it. No, embracing your future is more than that. It's believing in your dreams and believing in your ability to make those dreams a reality, right? And that's the only thing that's going to help that is with in the parallel to that is taking action, right? So you believe in yourself, you believe in your dreams, you believe in your ability to achieve those dreams, and then you take action on that, and you keep that focus, right? That laser focus on those dreams and on that fact, on your belief, and you just go. And the hard part is the refusal to act. It means that you'll never become who you were meant to be. And when I say who you're meant to be, we're all meant to be someone in this world. We're all meant to be something of significance in this world. And it's up to you to get there. And you have to embrace that. You have to do some soul searching, do some, self-reflection and introspection, and really try to understand what it is that you believe that you can be in your life. And so what that came to is a lot of time to reflect. And I backed off on a few things. I kept trying to keep pushing forward and kept trying to make money and kept trying to build our business. I never gave up on that. But I pulled back a little bit to reflect some, and I've done that even recently, and I do that more now, right? When I'm feeling something, I go, okay, what am I feeling? Instead of going like, oh, I'm just going to push through. Like sometimes you got to give yourself the ability to understand what you're feeling and how that makes a difference in your life. And so when I realized that I wanted to be someone of purpose, I wanted to be someone who can truly say that I have made someone's life better, right? That's what I want. That's what I want. That's my purpose in life, is to have someone say, hey, Josh, help me make my life better. And so I started doing things to position myself for success. And so here's the things, right? We're talking about embracing your future. We talk about believing in your dreams, believing in your ability to achieve those dreams, giving yourself the grace to take action on that, to get those wins, and then not staying in the same place, actually moving towards who you want to be. But how do you get there? And so what I had learned, and this was actually taught to me, like I had this taught to me by a coach and a very good friend of mine and someone who I call a mentor, is, there's two things that you can do to best position yourself for success to embrace your future. Number one is start networking with the right people. And I know that sounds simple, and I know that we hear that all the time. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that are telling you, get with the right people, get with the right people. But it's so true. And it's so important to do that, because if you are networking with the wrong people, which is what I was doing before, I was networking with people who wanted money. I was networking with people who wanted influence based on their dollar amount, not based on their significance, right? And so that's the kind of mentality I was getting into, and I hated it. I felt terrible because it made me feel just like all the greedy people in, that they're in upper levels of my corporate job. Is, they all just have this, I don't know, this ego, this ideal that they're better than everybody. And I don't want to be like that. I'm not better than anybody. I'm me, right? I'm unique. There's always somebody that's better out there than me, and there's always somebody that I'm better than at something, but I'm not better than as a person, right? There's always parts of me that could be better than others, and parts of me that could be, worked on. But I started networking with the right people, which that started out, a couple years ago, and then I expanded on that when I got into the online world, and I found the right people that lift me up, that encourage me, that are positive, that are they're a beacon of light in people's lives. And that networking actually started to make a difference, and that expanded into other networks. And it just became a habit to find people, to seek out people that are like that. And this is where you can start forming lasting relationships with those people, and they'll play a role in your success. They will help you towards success. And it's no question, right? It's not a magic serum. It's not a genie, whatever you want to call it, a lamp that you rub and a genie comes out and grants you three wishes. It's nothing like that. I guess you could basically call it scientific, right? It's you're putting yourself in a position to be surrounded by people that are constantly pushing you in a positive way towards your goals. There's no reason that you can't succeed when you're in an environment like that. So that's number one. Number two is showcase your work, your skills, your ability. Honestly, the biggest thing is that when you are showing people what you're made of, and you're showing people what you can do in this world, they're going to talk. And it's not because you want people to turn around and say, oh, hey, this guy's really good at doing this thing, so go ahead and pay him money so he can help you. No, they're going to talk about, man, this guy over here, he's got it going on. He's got the dreams, he's got the goals, he's got everything, and they're going to start talking you up. Maybe you're a great funnel builder, right? Maybe you love building funnels, and that's a skill that you have. So if you are in the right people, in the right network group, right, they're going to talk you up as this person is great at doing this thing because of XYZ, right? They're going to give examples. They're going to edify you. They're going to praise you, instead of going, hey, this guy makes really good funnels, go give him money. Like, there's a difference, right? It's not transactional. They're empathetic about it. They understand the amount of time that you put into this. And then they turn around and say, hey, this person is really helpful in our community. Let's go ahead and, give them a name, give them some feedback. And the other part of it too is, like, let's say you start doing good work for people, you help people. They're going to go start spreading your name around as somebody who's positive, who can help, who is able to get people to achieve their goals and dreams. All those things are super, super, super important. And honestly, I don't think you realize that when you put those two things together, you become an unstoppable force. And I'm not talking about an unstoppable force like you can run through walls or anything like that, although you'll probably feel like that because some days I do. But the unstoppable force of you've got the right people and the right skills and you're showcasing that, and they are basically doing this spider web out in the world, because what's going to happen is they're going to have conversations and something's going to remind them of you, and then they're going to tell that person, hey, you know what, that reminds me of Mary over here, and man, Mary is super super good at closing in Messenger. Or hey, you know what, that reminds me of Josh is really good with email marketing, like I bet you he could help you with this situation. And you're going to start having just this flood of people that come your way asking for your help, and sometimes even begging for your help, where they're going to message you over and over and over. And you're going to be like, what do I do? Because you're not used to it. But I mean, you'll never be used to it. Let's be real. But once you embrace it and you embrace that future, that's when the magic happens. The magic doesn't come from a lamp. The magic doesn't come from a button. The magic doesn't come from a magician that makes you feel like you're invincible. The magic comes from doing the right thing with the right people for the right reason. That's it. And so that's just a quick recap on that. So, we're talking about embracing your future. So if you're one of those people that came in later on in the video, or maybe you were doing something else and you're just waiting for the recap, embracing your future, it comes down to, two main points about it. Number one is believing in your dreams and believing that you can turn those dreams into reality. And number two is taking action, right? Those are the two things of like embracing your future. That's the foundational pieces. And how to do it is get with the right people and show them what you can do. Like, honestly, get up, start fighting for your future, and make it a future that you believe in. Don't sit back and say like, oh well, my family did this and so I should do that too. If you have a dream, if you have something you want to do, somebody you want to be in life, go after it. Do it. Get it done. Don't sit back and wait because somebody told you that you had to do the family business. Don't sit back and wait because somebody told you that you have to do something because that's your destiny, that's your calling. Nobody gets to tell you what your calling is. You'll feel it right here, right in your heart. You will feel exactly what your calling is. And when you feel that, you chase that. And that's what I'm doing. And I've got plenty of different things that I'm working on, but I will tell you right now, the biggest thing that's been a huge driver for me, a huge, huge, huge driver for me, is the people that I've gotten connected with. And it all started with reading a book. And that book was super, super helpful in my journey. It's really opened my eyes to the ways that I can help people truly with value, with significance in their lives. And that's, right here on the screen, that's where you can get that book right there. And so 9to5freedomsecret.com, that is where you can get that free book. And I'm going to tell you right now that that book alone has completely changed my whole mindset on how we can run a business and still be a person of value, how we can still build this trust with our audience, this trust with our customers, our clients, our family, our friends. And we can do it all without having to spend every waking moment doing it as well. And so that's something super powerful. And again, I'm just going to put that back up there, 9to5freedomsecret.com. So that's going to get you to the free ebook. And I highly suggest you read it and check out some of the other stuff that's in there as well. And if you have questions, let me know. I mean, you can always check us out on our website, jkschonert.com, right there. And that's our website. You can sign up to our newsletter. You can meet a little bit about who Katie and I are. You can see the kind of people that we're looking for. And here's the thing. The reason I'm showing you this is not because I'm desperate or I'm hard up or anything like that. The reason I'm showing this is because one of you out there is sitting in the exact spot I was sitting at almost a year ago, desperate for something to work, desperate for somebody to show you the way, to show you the light. And I want to be that beacon of light in your life. I want to be the person that can help you, sift through all the thorn bushes, go down that bumpy road and have someone pick you up when you trip on that, that one stone that's sticking up out of the cobblestone road, right? And please tell me you're visualizing this, like just the dark bumpy cobblestone with the thorns and the crows sitting up there cawing at you as you're going down that path. And I want to take you back over to the path. I guess I'm kind of envisioning like Wizard of Oz right now, right? Go down the yellow brick road, right? Let's go down the path that can help you get to where you want to go, and let's do it together. Because I can tell you from experience, doing it alone is not going to work. But we do it together, and that's really what's going to be powerful. So I'm going to leave you with that today. I appreciate you being here with me. I appreciate everything that you have done for me, your support, your love as I go on this journey. And I do want to make a quick shout out here to my grandmother, Rosemary Schonert, who is actually, she's been a big player in that for me. She's inspired me along the way. She has encouraged me every time that I get on here. She's been a big beacon of light for me. And so thank you, Grandma. I appreciate you. I hope that everything goes well with your guys' trip up here next month. They're going to be coming up to visit. So, but it's cool, right? It's cool to have family support. It's cool to have friend support. It's cool to have your support. And it's just really awesome. And I do this because I love to help others and I love to help you reach your goals. So my name's Josh again. And as it says, like right down there in the corner as well, right there. But that's all I got for today. I'm going to see you next week, and we're going to have another action topic for you because that is the theme. And we're going to do that until I guess I run out of ideas and move on to the next thing. So love you guys, and we'll catch you all next time.